Hello students, thanks for joining me. This is Mr. Nguyen. Today I'm going to show you how to do special right triangles using IXL practice. Before we begin, let's review our two types of special right triangles really quick. The first one is 30, 60, 90, where the angles are always 30 degrees, 60 degrees, and 90 degrees. And they always follow this pattern. The short leg, which is right across from the 30-degree angle, is labeled A. Okay, so whatever unit it is, whatever measurement it is, it's always A. And then the hypotenuse, which is right across from the right angle, is double of that, which is 2A. Right? And then the long leg, which is across from the 60-degree angle, is the square root of A. So whatever A is times the square root of 3. Okay? So square root of 3a. And now the a is usually at the front because that's usually a number, right? So that's 30, 60, 90. Now keep in mind, whenever we're doing these problems, we're going to label the sides like that, okay? The other type of special right triangle is known as the 45, 45, 90, or some other people call it the isosceles right triangles. So for the 45, 45, because the angles down here or on the legs are the same, so the legs are equal. So the legs will always be labeled AA. And then the hypotenuse has a relationship with those legs. It's the square root of 2 times A, or A times the square root of 2. Again, A is usually in front of the square root because it's going to be a number multiplied by square root of 2. You're going to see that when we start doing the problem. So these are the two special right triangles. And the reason we use them is because they provide us with a quick shortcut, and especially when the right triangles only give you one measurement, right? You can't use Pythagorean theorem with one measurement. You have to have at least two sides of a right triangle given to you in order to use Pythagorean theorem. However, with special right triangles, because they have relationships among the sides, you only need to know one measurement of the sides in order to find the rest of them, right? So let's take a look at the first example here. This example, we know this is 45, 45. So we know, let me open my web paint here. We know that the legs, it's going to be labeled A and A, okay? And then here, it's going to be A. Notice I put A first, and then times root 2, okay? I cannot type square root here, so I'm going to write the word root 2. Root means square root of 2. Okay, so this is the relationship, and the problem is asking me to find J, which is the hypotenuse. Okay, so this is fairly simple. We know A is 6, right? It's given to us right here. A is 6. So all we have to do is place A in there. So it'll be 6 root 2. Okay, so I'm going to type that into my answer here. Actually, no, I'm going to switch to my arrow. So I'm going to type it in here, 6 square root 2. And I'm going to submit my answer. Ta-da! Let me delete all of my notes there. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Again, it's a 45, 45, but notice this time they give you the hypotenuse. Now, it doesn't matter what they give you, the relationship is still the same. It's A, and then A here, which is U, and then this is A root 2. Now, notice A root 2, A times root 2, okay? So notice the root 2 is already there, which means A has to be 5, okay? So 5 root 2, A root 2. That means A is 5. So our answer here is 5. This one's easy, okay? This one's easy. I have to do no math in this one. I just sort of substitution things in. So A is 5, okay? Or U is 5 in this case. So submit. There we go. Let me delete my other notes, okay? Let me relabel this one. Now notice this one is a 30, 60, 90 degree. So Now, we're going to label the short leg first. The short leg will always get an A, which is 9 in this case, is given to us. The hypotenuse is always 2A. And then the long leg is A times root 3. Okay, A times root 3. Root 3. Notice it's not root 2 like the other one. So now that I know A is 9, all I have to do is substitute that in there. But in this problem, I do not need to find the long leg. I need to find the hypotenuse. So all I have to do is go over here and substitute it in, right? I'm going to substitute A and 9 in for A. So 2 times 9. Okay, so 2 times 9 is 18. So I know my answer here is 18. I'm going to put 18 in here and I will hit submit. Ta-da! All right, let me delete my notes. Okay, for this one, again, it's a 3060. Every time you do this, guys, you have to label your A, your 2A right here. This is 2A, right? 2 times A, and then your A root 3, A root 3. Sorry, A root 3 is your short or long leg. So if you notice, you're looking for A, but over here, do you see the 2 matches up? And the A matches up with the root 2, which means A is equal to root 2. A is root 2. So our answer for D is root 2. So I'm going to put in square root of 2 for my answers. Square root of 2. Okay, submit. There we are. All right, delete that. Next one, 3060 again. One more time, I'm going to label this. This is going to be A. This is going to be 2A. So 2A. Now, if I'm solving for A, I'm going to need to write an equation right here because 2A is 4. And then this one is A times root 3, right? So let's start with this equation. This equation over here, the hypotenuse is 4, but the hypotenuse is 2A. So it's 2A equals 4. Well, if 2A is equal to 4, then you divide it by 2, you get A equals to 2, right? If A is equal to 2, you're going to put it right here. A is 2. And then here is going to be 2 root 3. 2 root 3. Which is what we're looking for because it has fine T. So I'm going to type into my answer here 2 square root of 3. 2 square root of 3. So let's review this. I first label my triangles and then I look for the given side. They gave me the hypotenuse, and so the hypotenuse has the relationship 2A. So I'm gonna set up an equation so I can solve for the variable A. So and then once I know what A is, I can find the short leg or the long leg, whichever one they are asking me for, right? So in this case, we're looking for the long leg, which is 2 root 3. Hit submit. There we are. All right, let's do one more. I wonder if we should skip level. This one looks different, so let's try this one first. So, all right, how do I know where the short leg is again? The short leg is always across from the smallest angle. So there's A. And then the hypotenuse, which is across from the right triangle, is always 2, twice of that, right? And then the long leg is A root 3 for the 3060, right? All right, so which is what I'm looking for, by the way, in this problem. So here's A. A is given to me. It's 3 root 2. K is equal to A root 3. Well, A is 3 root 2, and that is being multiplied by root 3. Because the root 3 is in our formula, right? So here's the interesting thing. Here you see the 2 and the 3 play together over here. The root 2 doesn't play with them because they're not the same kind. Over here, the root 2 and the root 3 will play together, and the 3 cannot play with them. So you can actually multiply root 2 and root 3 to get root 6, and then you leave the 3 alone, right? So K is equal k is equal to 3 root 6. So the square root, play with the square root, the whole number, play with the whole number. So for the answer for k here is 3 root 6. Okay, I'm glad I did this problem because a lot of students get confused with all the square roots and the extra square roots. And when they plug it in here, they forget the root 3. The root 3 is in your formula. You cannot avoid it. It's there. It exists, right? And then in addition to that is this root 2. So root 2 times root 3 will give you root 6. So I'm going to type in 3 root 6 for my answer for K. Submit. Ta-da! Okay. All right, I'm going to delete what I did there. And I think I'm going to skip level a little bit just to make it go a little bit more challenging for you guys. So I'm going to skip one more level. Uh-oh, we're the challenge zone. Uh-oh. All right, I'm going to try to get you guys to 100. Or get myself to 100. I don't know. Oh, no triangle. Great. I have to draw my own triangle. Does this draw a right triangle? Polygon. Oh, this draw a polygon. Let me try this one. Let me see how I draw a polygon. Okay, 30, 60. So I'm going to draw it here, and then here, and then here. Okay, we're done. So there's my right triangle, okay? Supposedly. 30, 60. So here's my, let's say this is my 30 angle. I'm going to put 30 here, which means this is my 60s angle, 60 degree. All right, so now I'm going to label the, I'm going to change color just to be fancy. I'm going to label my long leg. It says the long leg. The long leg, remember, now I'm drawing this triangle and you're like, which one's the long leg? Well, the long leg is right across from the 60 degrees, so it has to be this one. This one is root 3. Root 3 is the long leg. Oops, I can't type. Oh, what happened? Okay. All right. Let me retype this. Okay, so the long leg is root 3. So I type 3. All right. What is the measure of the short leg? So I'm looking for this guy over here. Right. Now, again, guys, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You have to first label these things, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and label them, okay? I'm going to label this A. This is A. This is A. This is A root 3. Okay. Why is it not working for me? Stop messing with me. A root 3. Oh my God. Stop. 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 Well, if root 3 matches up, which means there is a 1 in front of it. So A is equal to 1. A is equal to 1. So I'm going to type in 1 for A. Okay. A is equal to 1. 1 in here. Submit. Yes. All right. I'm going to delete my ugly drawing. No, actually, no, I'm going to leave it. I want my 30 and 60. Okay. I'm going to delete this. Okay. You know what? I am going to keep red as my color. All right, so here's our next problem. We have the long leg of this is 15 root 3. So 15 root 3. And this 15 root 3 is labeled A root 3 according to our rule. And the short leg is over here is A, right? And the long leg is 2 times A, or 2A, if you want to call it just that, okay? Well, if I look at the given information, 15 root 3, I'm going to write it out so you can see that 15 root 3 equals A root 3. Well, the root 3 will cancel, right? Or you divide by root 3 and they give you 1, which means A has to equal to 15. Or 15 is equal to A. right? So now that I know 15 is equal to A, it's asking me for the hypotenuse. So I'm just going to plug it in here, right? It's going to be 2 times 15 because, oh, that's not 15, that's 25. 15. Well, 2 times 15 is 30. So I am going to enter my answer as 30. All right. Okay. Delete. No more drawing. This is, what is that? Okay. Anyway. So this is 45, 45. I am going to enter my 45 angle here. Well, you don't really have to, but I'm going to go ahead and type it in, right? 45, 45. And of course, because it is 45, 45, this is going to be A. This is going to be A. And this is going to be A root 2. All right, or root 2 times A. But I put the A first. If you don't remember the relationship, just have a little G sheet in front of you when you do your practice until you get familiar with these, right? I know them by heart already. Anyway, it says the hypotenuse is 20 root 6. Okay, so I'm going to set the equation here. This is the hypotenuse is equal to 20 root 6. All right, now here's a root 2 and there's a root 6. So you know a root 2 and a root 6 are not the same, right? However, I do want a root 2 over here. You could actually split the root 2, root 6 into root 2 and root 3, right? So if I split this up, it's going to be, so if I split this up, it's going to be a root 2 on the left-hand side of my equation, stays the same, equals 20. But instead of root 6, I'm going to write root 2 times root 3 because root 2 times root 3 is root 6. Now, why do I want root 2 there? So that I can cancel them out, right? I can cancel the root 2 here and cancel the root 2 there, right? So if I take the eraser, I technically just erase the root 2 away, right, on both sides of my equation because of the equality properties. I can divide both sides by root 2. So look at that. Look at your answer. Your answer now is A equal 20 root 3. Aha! Oh my gosh, that is so easy. So how long is the leg? Well, the leg is A equal 20 root 3. So I'm going to say this leg is 20 root 3. Plain and simple. And the two legs are the same. So the answer for this is 20 root 3. 20 and then square root 3. Okay. Submit. Ta-da! Okay. Delete. 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 Oh. Okay, 30, 60. Well, I have to label my 30 here. 30. 60 degrees. All right. Which means this down here is short leg. This is the long leg. It says the short leg is 5 centimeters. So I'm going to put the short leg over here, 5 centimeter, which is 5. And then what is the measure of the hypotenuse? So I'm looking for this guy. Okay. Well, this guy has a label. He is 2 times A. Is 2A. Well, A is 5 because that's the short leg. So this is quite easy. The question mark or the hypotenuse is equal to 2 times A, which is 5. So the answer is 10. The hypotenuse is 10. So I'm going to go to my answer. I'm going to put in 10. Submit. Ta-da. Okay, very cool. 94. All right, we're almost there. Uh, delete. This is 45, 45. Oops, delete too many things. All right, 45, 45. 45. Okay, so this is A. Oops, this is A, this is A, this is A root 2. Guys, I don't know how many million of these problems I've done, but every single one of them, I still label the side just because I don't want to mess up. Okay, all right, so here we go. A triangle's leg is 1. Oh, it's 1. So this one is also 1. Oh, that means this is 1 root 2. But 1 root 2, or root 2, root 2, 1 root 2 is the same as root 2. because 1 multiplied by anything, it's itself, right? But it's anything. So it's equal to root 2. So my answer for the hypotenuse in this case is just the square root of 2. Now, I don't think it's going to count it wrong if you enter 1 root 2, but it looks kind of silly, because the 1, we already know it's a 1. So submit. There we are, 95. Okay, delete. 30, 60. All right, so it's my 30 degrees, 60 degrees. So I'm going to make this 30 again. This one is 60. I'm going to change on you one day. I'm going to make the top one 60. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to change this to 60. Oops. Sorry. I'm going to change this to 60 degree. All right. I'm going to change this to 60 degrees. And I'm going to change this to 30 degrees. Now, every time that happens, the short leg is going to be over here because that's going to be opposite of the the 30 degree. And then the long leg is over here, which is a root 3. Okay, a root 3. And then the hypotenuse is 2 times a, 2a, right? All right, so let's plug in some value here. The short leg is root 3. So they're giving us the short leg, which is root 3. All right, now we're looking for the longer leg. So I'm going to plug it in. All right, notice this one already has a root 3, and this a is actually a root 3. So if I take root 3 and I substitute it in for a, it's going to look funny, but it's correct. It's going to be root 3, 2 times like that, because the root 3 is already in my formula, and a is actually another root 3. So what is root 3 times root 3? It should be 3. If you didn't know that, here's a calculator can verify that for you. If you do second square root, oops, sorry, not square, second square root 3, and then get out, and then times second square root 3 again, it's going to give you, guess what? A 3. The algebra behind it is because root 3 times root 3 is root 9, and the square root of 9 is 3, right? So back to our problem. The answer for this, it's going to be the long leg. It's going to be 3. It's going to be 3. The whole value, no root, no square root. Enter. There we go. Okay, 96. We're almost there, guys. Thanks for hanging with me. If you have enough, if you've seen enough, you can stop the video and go do your own practice. If not, bear with me for 4 more problems and we'll be done. All right, this is 30, 60 again. I'm going to make this 30. I'm going to make this 60. Oops, 60. Which means this down here is A because that's the short leg. This down here is up here is A root 3. And this here is 2A, right? 2A. All right, so now I'm going to plug in some values. I'm going to say the longer leg is A root 3. The problem says that. So I'm going to go to the longer leg, which is down here, up here. It's going to be 8 root 3. Do you notice something? The root 3 and the root 3 matches each other. I can actually write it as an equation so that you can see A root 3 equals 8 root 3. So like before, we have root 3 on both sides. We could actually delete them, right? We're not technically deleting them. We're dividing by root 3 so that they can just go away. It becomes a 1. And so A is equal to 8. So my short leg is going to be 8. And then my long leg is going to be 2 times A. Right? But they're asking me for not long leg, hypotenuse. They're asking me for short leg. So I can just put in my answer as 8. I don't have to find the hypotenuse. Now, later on, you're going to be solving a right triangle, so you will be looking for all the sides, right? But just for this problem, I'm just going to put 8 in. Submit. Okay, next one. Delete, 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 delete. All right, next one is going to be a 30, 60 again. I'm going to make this 30. Guys, I don't label my angles. You guys are not going to know which one's the short leg and which one's the long leg. Hypotenuse is 28, so I'm going to label 28 here. This is my short leg. This is A. This is my long leg. It's A root 3. The hypotenuse is 2A, which is also 28. So 2A equal 20A. So if I solve for A, I use this equation to solve for A would equal to 14 if I divide both sides by 2, right? So 28 divided by 2 is 14. So I know my short leg is 14, and my long leg is going to be 14 root 3. That's how easy it is, guys. This is the most wonderful discovery, or one of the most wonderful discovery about right triangles. It's special right triangles. It provides us with shortcuts and stuff. So the question asked for short leg. I did way too much, but here we go. 14 units. 14 units. Submit. Ta-da. Two more problems. Oh my God, we're almost there. Okay. 30, 60 again. So I'm going to type in my 30 here, my 60 here. All right. And 30, this is my A. This is my A root 3. 3. And then this is my 2A. 2A. All right. So that's my labeling. Now I'm going to put in the measurement. The short leg is 11. So they're giving me the short leg, which is 11. All I have to do is take that value and plug it into wherever it's asking me. It's asking me for the longer leg. The longer leg is over here. So I'm going to put 11 in for A. So my longer leg would be 11 root 3. Root 3. There you go. So I'm going to type in that answer for the longer leg. 11 root 3. Submit. Ta-da! We are almost there. One more problem. 30, 60 again. So let's do this. 30. Oops. 30. Oh my God, what did I type in? 30. And then here is my 60-degree angle. And this one is the short leg. So it's going to be A. This one's going to be my longer leg. So it's going to be A with 3. And then this is going to be my hypotenuse, which is 2 times A. All right, let's put in some measurement. The triangle measures 40 miles. Oh, the hypotenuse of the triangle measure 40 miles. Oh, here's the hypotenuse. So I'm going to set it equal to 40. And I'm going to solve the equation by dividing both sides by 2. So A equals to 20. Right? A equals to 20. And if I take that A and I plug it into both of the legs, not my legs, the triangle's legs, I would get the answer. So this question is asking me for the longer leg, so I'm going to put 20 in here. So 20 goes in for A, and then root 3 because the rule is there. All right, I have a phone call. Let me enter this this answer in here. 20 root 3. And then submit. It is done. We are finished. We got 100%. I'm gonna delete that weird looking triangle that I have there. You guys, thank you for watching. I hope that was helpful. Go do your own practice and let me know how it goes. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.